Steve, Julio Ricardo Varela, who knows that we seven coming inside from the East Coast. I'm bringing in the West Coast coming in right now. Sharice Delgadillo. Absolutely.
What's up, man? What's up? I'm here. We're cracking. Lots of stuff going on, huh? So we got a packed show today.
I know. It's jam-packed. It's so jam-packed. It's like we're sardines in this. It's like there's so many good stories. It's like sardines stories. Anyway, so before we bring in our first guest, just want to remind everyone, this is live. This is not a podcast. This is not a recorded thing. This is LIVE, and it's Latino Rebels Radio. Yeah, Julio Ricardo Varela here with Sharice Delgadillo. If you want to tweet us at Latino Rebels right now, or if you want to tweet me at Julito77, or if you want to tweet Sharice at Shari. See what I did there?
There you go. Now you got it. With the X.
Hey, it's Black Sarah. It's not my shot. So anyway, hey, at Black Shari, you brought in a couple things. You were actually in LA. Was it yesterday or today that you were at Caravana 43?
It was yesterday, actually. I was at one of their many events that they've been having in Los Angeles, the Caravan in Los Angeles. They've been here for 4 days, caravanning through LA County, and so I was able to attend one of their events. It was a presentation where Caravana 43, Caravan 43, is a caravan of mothers, students, and relatives who are seeking justice for the Ayotzinapa massacre that happened in Iguala Guerrero almost about 6 months ago. Almost been about 6 months. So, I was able to talk to some people, and so now we're gonna, have some guests on our show.
Right. So you're gonna have Angel de la Cruz Ayala, who is a student survivor that you heard speak, and we also have Emily, who's gonna bring him on. We're gonna conduct the interview in Spanish, so I'm gonna. Good. This is, love doing this stuff. Yeah. We're gonna try to translate as we go, but so I'm gonna switch into my Spanish mode for a second.
All right. As we
queremos presentar a nuestros invitados. Tenemos a Ángel Neri de la Cruz Ayala. Ángel, es Julio Ricardo Varela. ¿Estás ahí?
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? Estás aquí con Julio y con Sharice.
Hola.
Va a ser una entrevista bilingüe. So it's going to be a bilingual interview, and we have Angel and Emily. Si ustedes nos permiten hacer las preguntas y después yo voy a traducirlas y luego conversamos así. Primero, gracias. Thank you so much for being on. Ángel, favor de contar su historia y por qué está usted ahora mismo en Los Ángeles. Y luego, Emily, si cuando Ángel, después de que Ángel hable, usted podría darle una traducción. What I said that was just to our listeners who aren't listening in English or who understand Spanish, excuse me. We're going to have Ángel tell his story and then we're going to have Emily translate. Entonces, Ángel, usted ahora contar tu historia y por qué está en Los Ángeles ahora.
Muy bien, muy buenas tardes a todos.
Buenas tardes.
Contarles todo lo que pasó, pues sería tratar de resumir muy poco lo que vivimos, porque no puedo omitir muchas partes, ya que es muy larga la historia y todo es de mucha importancia. Simplemente les diré que lo trágico de esta noche fue de que lanzó 3 compañeros muertos. Uno de ellos le sacaron el rostro, le sacaron sus ojos y los 25 heridos y compañeros desaparecidos, que son 43.
Okay, so he says to try to sum up everything that happened would be really very, very difficult because it's a very long story and it's all very important, so omitting things is also hard. But basically to give you the big picture. That night was so tragic because of the 3 classmates who were killed, one whose face was pulled off and eyes were gouged out, the 25 people that were wounded, and then of course the 43 people that were disappeared.
Bueno, Ángel, sabemos que es una tragedia y no, hablando de los detalles, we know this is tragedy. We're not talking about the details, pero ¿por qué ahora? ¿Por qué está usted ahora mismo en Estados Unidos? Why are you here right now in the United States? Hablando de Caravana 43, talking about Caravana 43.
Mira, ya son casi 6 meses que el Estado mexicano ha hecho caso omiso de lo que nosotros exigimos, que es la aparición completa de nuestros compañeros y pues justicia a los 3 caídos y la reparación del daño a todos los estudiantes heridos, tanto física como psicológicamente. Y al ver la negatividad de nuestro país, el querer cumplir estas demandas, además de que se abran líneas de investigación hacia los militares y hacia las demás instituciones federales y estatales, pues venimos a este país que ahora lo quiero traducir porque no se lo están.
Okay, so as I said, we're here because it has been 6 months now, almost 6 months, and the Mexican government has been extremely negligent with the case. We're here demanding justice, demanding damages for the dead, for the wounded, for the disappeared, both the people that were traumatized physically and also psychologically. Mexico is in such a negative situation, and we're also here demanding that new lines of investigation be opened up, such as investigating the military and other institutions that were involved.
Sí, por favor de seguir, Ángel, porque yo sé que no le quería traducir, pero si quieres compartir algo más de los objetivos que tienes para esta campaña. Let me just say that in English for people that are listening. I'm just asking Ángel to continue the story. Just wanted to stop so we can translate. Entonces sigue, Ángel.
Mira, sabemos pues que el gobierno estadounidense apoya a México en aspecto del plan medida para financiar pues supuestamente la guerra contra el narco, pero desafortunadamente esos recursos lo utilizan pues para matar estudiantes y para reprimir a todo aquel que exija pues alguna justicia independientemente del tema que sea. En México hay mucha represión y pues Estados Unidos financia mucho de ese tipo y pues nosotros venimos a esto pues a ver a la gente que en su país que el gobierno estadounidense ya no apoye en ese aspecto a México pues como ya se comprometió también la embajada alemana de no administrar armas, pues también queremos que los Estados Unidos tampoco lo hagan.
Okay, so the other reason, a major reason that we're here is that the U.S. government supports Mexico in terms of economic resources with the Plan Merida, which specifically is to finance the war on drugs, the war on the narcos, but those resources are often used to kill people, to repress anybody who is demanding justice for anything at all. There's a lot of oppression in Mexico, so we are here to demand that, to ask that the United States citizens put pressure on the American government to stop doing this, to stop supporting the Mexican military apparatus, and to perhaps do something like what Germany did, which was to make the commitment to stop providing weapons to Mexico. That's what we want the U.S. to do as well.
Bueno, thank you, Emily. Estamos hablando ahora mismo con Ángel. Right, exactly. We're talking right now with Ángel de la Cruz Ayala, and I'm sorry, there was a little bit of feedback. Disculpe. Y la pregunta que tengo para usted, Ángel, pues que también están pidiendo hacer recomendaciones en la Corte Mexicana, ¿no? You're trying to ask for the U.S. government to make recommendations to the Mexican courts. ¿Qué más son ese tipo de... ¿Qué más quieres añadir sobre eso? What else do you want to add about that?
¿Qué más quieres decir sobre lo de que ustedes están hablando como de las recomendaciones interamericanas? Una recomendación de la interamericana, ¿qué quieres decir sobre eso?
No solamente el plan Mérida, we're talking about the plan Mérida, pero me imagino que hay otras recomendaciones que están aquí. There are other ones that you're trying to ask.
No, mira, principalmente venimos pues a eso, que la comunidad aquí nos apoye en ese aspecto, pero la Comisión Interamericana, digo, venimos a pedir también a la Organización Internacional, a la ONU, a todos ellos para que pues nos apoyen en ese aspecto también, de que, por ejemplo, Amnistía que le dé las recomendaciones a México, pues, que debe cumplir con lo debido, pues, sus recomendaciones, y a lo de la ONU, pues lo mismo, ¿no? De que pare México ya con estos crímenes de Estado directamente.
So yes, the main reason that we're here is to get support from the community, but also obviously to have these audiences with Amnesty International, with the UN, so that they will give a recommendation to the Mexican government to make them comply with what they should be doing, to make them comply with actually having a more just system, obligate them to not have these grave human rights violations.
So, Ángel, hablando de la reacción ahora mismo, yo sé que hay 3 caravanas que están pasando con corrientes ahora mismo en Estados Unidos. ¿Cómo ha sido la reacción? What's the reaction? It's been pretty different caravans that are going right now in the United States. ¿Podrás compartir lo que estás diciendo o lo que estás viendo en este país sobre este tema? What you're seeing about the state?
Pues hemos visto mucho apoyo por parte de la gente. Aquí hay muchos hermanos latinos que nos han estado apoyando, y no solamente latinos, están latinos, asiáticos, de todo tipo, y hasta apenas norteamericanos igual. Por todas partes nos están apoyando y nos están defendiendo de muy buena manera, y pues le queremos también agradecer a todos ellos, pues muchas gracias por su apoyo, pues, y que nos sigan apoyando en esa misma manera o más todavía si se puede.
So first of all, we're seeing a lot of support from the community, from the Latino community, and not only from the Latino community, but from all kinds of people. So we really appreciate that. We want to thank everybody for their support.
Bueno, la última pregunta, my last question, since I know your time is limited, que tienen el tiempo limitado y están haciendo muchas cosas, y solamente quería agradecer su tiempo. I just want to thank you for your time. I know you're very, very busy. ¿Cuál sería el mensaje clave aquí para usted como mexicano que está aquí en este país compartiendo el mensaje de nunca olvidar lo que pasó en Iguala? ¿Cuál sería el mensaje clave? ¿Qué querías decirle a los americanos, los norteamericanos que viven aquí, especialmente latinos que están siguiendo lo que está pasando? What is it that you want to say? What is the key message that you want people to leave with in their minds?
Well, pues el mensaje clave es el que recibimos el apoyo directamente a toda la comunidad, no importa la raza, no importa el color, no importa la lengua, nada de eso no importa, simplemente eso, que se sientan identificados pues con el dolor de los padres y pues que estén apoyando ya cada 26 de cada mes en todas las embajadas, en todos los consulados, que no se nos olvide este crimen de Estado, porque si nos olvida pues va a volver a pasar y es lo que no queremos que vuelva a pasar esto.
The key message is that we're really just seeking support from the community. It doesn't matter what color you are, what language you speak, what race you might be, as long as you understand the pain of the parents and feel for them. We ask that you come out every 26th. We do activities to put more pressure and to protest this. And the main thing is really the message is that this event should not be forgotten ever, because if it is, then it can happen again, and that's what we don't want for it to happen again.
Bueno, a mí es Eric de la Contrariada. Le quiero agradecer su tiempo, sus palabras y todo lo que han compartido. Y nosotros aquí en Latino Rebels nunca vamos a olvidar lo que ha pasado. Pero quería solamente agradecer su tiempo y lo que han compartido. Y le deseamos mucho amor, mucha paz. Y que nunca se olvide de lo que pasó en Iguala hace 6 meses. Muchos abrazos. Gracias por todo. Gracias por todo.
Gracias a ustedes.
Gracias a ustedes.
Gracias.
Hablamos. Gracias. Sharita just ended that by saying thank you for their time. I know their time was extremely limited, and I want to thank you for making this happen. I think it's really important. Couple minutes to hear on his voice and hear those words, and I thought Emily did a fantastic job sharing that in English. Anyone that speaks Spanish or that listens to what he had to say, those were pretty moving moments, and I just kind of left the conversation. I want you to kind of intersect, but I left the conversation. Thank you, Tim, for sharing those words and the fact that people should not be forgetting what happened in Iguala, en Ayotzinapa, and all that has happened. The fact that it continues to be on the consciousness of people. Just wanted to thank him for his time, and I just thought that was something that was very, very important. So anyway,
and just want to, and just to add on, and that if people want to find out more information about the caravan, to go to Caravana or Caravana43.com, and then there's a site there where people can go ahead and make donations. Because this is a donation-run campaign. It's 3 different caravans happening all throughout the United States and every region. And so you can check there to see what the schedule is if people want to go ahead and support. Go check out some of the presentations, listen to some of the speakers, and if they want to go ahead and make any donations, people can go to the website, Caravana 46, Caravana43.com to find out more information there.
Yeah, we'll try to tweet that out during the hour, but you were there in LA yesterday.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
It was quite a good turnout from what I saw, and I heard him speak. I heard Angel speak, and he was giving very detailed account of what happened that night. And my first impression is the courage that it really takes for these family members and survivors and professors to caravan all the way from Guerrero all the way into the United States, and the level of importance that we feel like the community that they're reaching out to, is the list of demands. That takes a lot of courage. I mean, because that's a lot of land travel. These people are, I'm sure, traveling by land. I don't know if they're traveling by foot. I'm not exactly sure about the logistics, but that takes a lot of courage, especially with the current situation that they're in right now, and then the fact that they're going to have to go back, into Mexico, and I'm sure that the government is, all of this is under everyone's, the government's radar, the narco's radar. So I really applaud them for just going ahead and speaking out about this. It's very great.
Right, and from what I understand, this has been an effort that's taken on And that has been very important, and I think that was pretty ambitious effort here. And if I can reconquer Caravan, it's just it's incredible. And so that people know, I mean, they're pretty much, I'm just going to list some of the cities that they're visiting: San Diego, El Paso, Santa Ana, Oxnard, LA, Fresno, Santa Cruz, Berkeley, San Francisco, in Washington, Portland, Oregon, Santa Rosa, Yakima, Washington, Seattle, Denver, Colorado, Sacramento, Las Vegas, and they're going to try to keep going towards New York. And it's what it says here on the site is that the project developed with the purpose of bringing to the United States parents and classmates for 43 Normalista students who disappeared on September 26, 2004 in Iguala, Guerrero, Mexico. There are 3 Catalanas covering over 40 cities from the U.S.-Mexico border along the Pacific Central and Atlantic region states. The main aim is to provide an international forum for the parents who have lost their children to the government of systematic violence, systemic violence. Another important goal of the Caravana is to shed light on U.S. foreign policy, specifically the Merida Initiative that connects to socioeconomic issues, violence, and action. So if you go to the site, it's bilingual. There's an about section. It talks about who's here. One of the things that you can know is that the Caravan has no connection to any political party or other national organization. It's entirely voluntary, raising just enough money to pay for its cause. There are no paid positions. Each group in a particular city will be responsible for organizing the Caravan locally, raising its own funds. Each area will provide housing, transportation, and for the parents. A group of 14 parents, students, and advocates will be kept in the United States. They'll be divided into 3 groups. This is very grassroots, and anyone who thinks that this is a massive financial effort, it's just completely ill-informed. From what I hear and from what was said in the past and understanding how this is organized, this is about let's try to make this happen as much as possible. And this is what I understand is that every city hosts whoever comes, they host them for a couple of days and they move on to the next one. So someone like Emily is volunteering, and I thought she did an amazing job. So that's what he said, Michael said. But they're going to think of covering 30 cities, 19 states, and the District of Columbia, and they're going to try to have all the 3 groups converge in D.C. and New York City. So it's very hyper-local. We've got releases from people in many of the cities. It's going to continue, and it's just to raise awareness and as you said, shedding light on what U.S. government policy has been and other things. So, I mean, before we move on to the next story, your impression, I want to lead with your impression, and you were there, I wasn't there. How did it, I asked you, but I really want you to see, because I talked to you, and you were trying to put these guys, and it feels like it's still in your mind, like it almost was like, oh yeah, Iguala, and now it's kind of back in your consciousness. Is that fair to say? How about
just in a nutshell, it very much kind of reminds me of what I'm seeing is like a next step in terms of grassroots organizing. I've been part of grassroots organizations myself. A lot of things have happened in the 90s with NAFTA, and now I'm seeing, and a lot of people are going into Mexico, and now I'm seeing people from Mexico coming into the United States to raise awareness about Plan Merida. And I think that Plan Merida is definitely something new in our conscious, and that they're going to be raising a lot of awareness. Just like back in the 90s, people started becoming very aware of NAFTA and those repercussions. So, I felt, and Canada as well. Yeah. So I really felt like this was, very like grassroots, very indigenous, movement that's happening, and for them to travel all the way to the United States, it's that's a lot of effort, and it's because again, it's how U.S. policy with Mexico and Latin America. And this is another example. This is a new plan, and so now I think it's, people are going to start becoming aware of many of them really what that's about, because I think it's something new for a lot of people that we still haven't even understood ourselves. So, I think a lot of people are starting to become aware of that.
Right. Well, we'll leave it at that. I will say one thing. I'll put a final point about all of this. Curious, there are a couple of people that think that we organize this all by ourselves. That because you can stories that we are somehow involved in. And that's so not even.
Are people writing in this? Are people writing in this?
Yeah, people do believe that we've done all this.
God, right.
Yeah. In my computer, sending funds to all these organizers because we're so close to the story.
I'm tired too.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's actually on our job. Like, we've actually covered stories and we've actually helped share the story with people. But because we do our job as journalists, people think, this is all part of our plan. It's ridiculous, and I'm going to say it. This is a tragedy. Anyone who uses us or says time out is an idiot. I'm sorry. You're an idiot. People that are saying that, you're an idiot. And I'm going to say it again one more time. You're an idiot. But anyway, we're moving on. Okay, moving on. I have Eric on. Eric Arguello is going to come on in a second. And I want you to kind of drive the second part of the show because he's your guest. I'm going to be very, very quiet. I'm going to read the Twitter feed and I'll jump in. But it's been so good. You've been so good, like, letting me sort of be bilingual. Like, I have
that was a conversation. That was very friendly.
We're going to bring Eric Arguello on, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Hey, Eric, you're with Burrito and Chariz. And Chariz is going to, we'll formally introduce you. Thanks for being on.
Hi, Eric.
Okay.
Thanks for having you on.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, we're all good.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm just going to read you, Eric. So for listeners, I was spending some time up in the Mission District, which is known for being the Latino district neighborhood of the San Francisco Bay Area. And I went up there a couple times during the summer, and I started seeing a lot of gentrification happen up there. A lot of it attributed to the tech boom. You have Google, Firefox, stuff like that. So, and I started seeing a lot of gentrification, and I started interviewing some people, and then I came across Eric, and was one of the people who was actually proposing a solution, which is to form a Latino historical district along one of the corridors where businesses are. So, let's see. Why don't you go ahead? So, Eric, why don't you go ahead and just, tell us a little bit about yourself and what the project Calle 24 is about, and what spurred this project to move forward.
Sure. I'm originally from Nicaragua. I've been in for about 50 years, so this is my home. We had this organization since '99. It was initially a neighborhood group, working on quality of life issues along the corridor on 24th Street and Troy Avenue. And what we've seen in the last, this has been happening for the last 20 years, the outskirts, the gentrification in the late 90s with the dot-com boom, pretty much took over the North Mission and Valencia Street. So it's been happening for a while, and now what's happening in the last 6-7 years, it's moving into the inner mission, it's 24th Street. It
ready to a fire mission. So what we've seen on the corridor is just a huge influx of realtors, speculators, swarming businesses, getting information from landlords to see if they can find information regarding their tenants, to see when the leases come due to get somebody else to pay higher rent. We've seen restaurants, high-end restaurants, competing for space along the corridor. The Archdiocese was involved in receiving $100,000 from a restaurant to move our small business to provide for a high-end restaurant. We've seen lots of families being evicted out of the residents on the area. So it's pretty intense, and I feel it a little more bigger than the .com. I think it's because it's in the inner missions where people live. There's businesses where in the past, North Mission, there was people living there, but it was not a dense this area. Nevertheless, it's still displacing a lot of people. So, there's, one of the things that we're trying to do, is, try to preserve it as much as we can. Our numbers are dropping. Between 2000 and 2013, we had 8,252 Latinos who left the area.
Wow.
Huge. And also between that same period, we had 2,368 evictions in the area, so it's like 182 evictions per year.
Can you repeat that number again?
Sure.
Can you repeat that number again? How many evictions?
2,368 between 2000 and 2013, and those are the ones that are just reported Halifax evictions. And these are and so we're not even counting the ones that have been paid off or being, harassed, fleeing. So it's a lot higher, just the evictions itself. And the population changes. We just got two members 2 days ago from META and community housing organization called CITRO. So it kind of gives us a picture of what's been happening in the last 20 years. Which picked up a lot over the last 6-7 years. But so and
so tell us about Calle 24.
Yes, well, Calle 24 is where it's the high mission. It's where all we have a high concentration of murals in the city. It's the place of Latin Ross, Santana, Mago, Sapo, where we have Bobby Alley, the highest concentration of the Latino Rebels on 12 blocks. We host Carnival, there's Netflix, the Chavez Festival. And we're starting to lose a lot of that. We're starting to lose part of the culture. We have a lot of development happening in the area that's demolishing buildings that have murals on them. We rely on those murals for our revenue for the area. We have, unfortunately, some new people moving in, want to shut down Carnival. They don't like it. They call themselves the Gang of Four. So what we wanted to do was be able to preserve it. If we don't do something now, we'll be less than a quarter by 2020, according to the numbers. So we want to, preserve everything on the corridor, preserve our people, our small businesses, our music, our events. It's all part of the culture, especially the people. People are the ones who do the culture. So we decided to do a Latino cultural district. So we worked with our supervisors in the mayor's office, and we were able to designate about our 12 blocks. There's 22nd Street, so Chavez and Mission Trail, a Latino cultural district. It's just a resolution. It's saying, this area, it's historic, it's a community, it lists the contributions that the community has made to San Francisco. And it's a start. It's just a resolution. There's no key to it. It's just it's a story. But what we're trying to do now, we had to go through a 6-month process to get the keys, to get the law behind it. So we're just finishing up that process. And the piece that's really going to be able to help us is called the Special Use District. So the Special Use District is a document that place and planning requirement and has to be approved by the board of supervisors. It says in this area, you and allow, these type of businesses, family, small businesses, like we could do a rural protection zone. A mural on the wall is going to be, demolished. There's more protections for it, So what is that process, or what exactly is going to look like? So the free market just to come in and just removes all of that. Mm-hmm. So we, at the tail end of it, it's a lot of stuff. We have to do interviews with businesses, the residents, the nonprofit, in the area, and to get a consensus moving forward with the special use district. So we're on the process right now of getting proposals to create the legislation. So that's what we're doing right now to try to, at least slow down and preserve what we have.
So, when I went up, go ahead. Julio.
I've been listening to this, fascinated about this, and I'm sure you have another question, but I don't think there's a lot of people out there, outside of the Bay Area, that understand sort of the consequences of what has happened with the tech boom. You always see sort of the flashiness of technology and danger. And when Eric is talking about, listening to that, I guarantee you, outside of the Bay Area, there's not a lot of people who know that you have thousands of evictions happening and that there's a price to progress. And it seems that Eric, and before I turn it over to Sharice, but Eric, this is the fight for survival of what you guys have in the district for, so what does that mean? What is this fight for survival? And you mentioned the fact that there's people that are saying, are you guys being seen as troublemakers or blocking the, what's the mood out there right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In the media and the PR folks from City Hall are constantly painting, a very upbeat, rosy picture, all the jobs the city has created, all the new housing that they're creating, and all the revenue that the city is generating. They're not really digging down into the negative effects, the impact of too much development in the city, and the impacts of having thousands and thousands of people move into the city, lots of money, in a short period of time. They're not really talking about the negative impacts. So it's really frustrating for us, and the community, has gone out to march, protest, Google buses, we've got 4 or 5 big marches with, 500 people coming out in the neighborhood. We've been, having big forums, trying to engage people, to really let them know what's going on. You're right. People, even outside our neighborhood, don't really know what the impacts that are happening. And because it's a larger media, that's really overshadowed what's really happening. It's almost like it's, turning people's eyes away from what's happening. So, we're jumping up and down, we're screaming, so we can be heard and seen, people know. So these members, we put them out in the media so the rest of the people can see it. One other thing that's really, stands out is that San Francisco's Latino population is growing overall, but it's not growing as fast as every other city in the country. San Francisco is behind in that growth. And it's because of this exodus that we're having here at the mission. And I don't think that the city is very aware of that, So we have to take, the reins, and we really have to, fight and get the word out and let people understand what's really happening here. This is the soul of San Francisco. This is the Latino community, in San Francisco. There's so much history here, the Latino community has been here for, from day one, with the
indigenous people. And so, we're part of the Lords and all that district. And it's unfortunate, we're trying to do a lot of education on new folks that are coming into the neighborhood that have no idea what they're moving into. The realtors have to extend that also, the way they sell the neighborhood. They don't even national opportunity here in the district that we have. When we see ads on Craigslist or we see ads for development, when it's large parcels that are being sold, these companies, when they're trying to get investors, are describing the mission as something different than it is. And so when folks come here, they have no idea what type of neighborhood they're moving into, what's happening. Yeah, there's a lot of things that have come that are really not allowing us to get out there. Yeah, we're going to bring in Marseille for a second as well. Who actually live in the same neighborhood. Marseille, you want to say something?
Hey, Eric, I didn't get to spell your name, but I feel that we're not talking about the gang injections that happened in the late past, and that's, always been a precursor to gentrification in other places. So I understand the effects that some of the new money that comes in is having in our neighborhoods. I do go by the neighborhoods, but I just feel that we also need to address the bigger context of other situations that might have helped this, not helped, but precipitated this as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of different things, with years that been going on for such a long time. But I think this is the biggest, push towards gentrification, which is the tech industry. So there's part, years ago when we bought part, they were afraid that it was going to cause gentrification. A lot of our businesses were closed on Mission Street. So there's a lot of different things that have happened over, so many years. But I think this is the biggest wave that we had overall in the tech industry. Therese, why don't you drive it home?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. So, Eric, the preservation of the historical district with rising Cuarto, is that being used? I think you mentioned before that that's being used as a model for other communities of color that are also facing gentrification in the Bay Area.
Right, and the whole city, we're just our diversity. There's Bayview District, keeping an eye on us to see how we move forward. They want to do African American Culture District. There's Soma, South Market area. They want to do a Filipino town. There's an LGBT community in Soma also. They want to do a 11th district. So there's a lot of communities, who are arguing with this kind of displacement and erasure of the culture and the history. So they're all kind of looking at us to see how we move forward on this. We've been following Japantown. We've been in their process for quite some time. So they're, basically going through the same thing. They're very close nature of disappearing. They've lost some businesses over the years, so they're at a critical moment in their history. So yes, a lot of neighborhoods are suffering the same thing as we are. We are ground zero in the mission. We are using the highest percentage of population mission. With ground zero for the ground zero of market rate housing, with luxury housing, with the whole city, most of the development is on the east side. But definitely, other neighborhoods are feeling the effects also. So, Eric, so how can people find out more about your efforts? Well, we have a website. It's www.calle24sf.org. You can sign up there to get emails, and then if we have any meetings or if we have a call to action, it's also through there. We're posting our final report, on there also, so people can see it. We have a public statement on our webpage right now too. We made from the different information that we got to move forward with the culture. So you'll find a lot of information we really appreciate your time. We'd love to have you back. And Shadi's, we follow the story closely, and really, really happy that we had you on. And keep us posted. And I'm going to subscribe right after this. Right after the show's over, I want to hear more. This is a story that needs to be told, and you have told, you really know the stuff, as they say. So we really appreciate your time, Eric. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, no. Thank you. Take care. All right, Therese. Yeah?
Yes, I'm here.
That's good. All right, so listen, we're going to bring in Blanca. We're going to move. We wanted to continue the Univision conversation from last week, which was really intense. And we wanted to sort of bring the last 10 minutes of this. And Blanca's on, right?
Hi, how are you?
What's up?
Hi.
Good. How are you?
Hi.
Shadi's in Molico. And we had a really intense conversation about Univision photography Gorilla last week. And then it led to some conversations. And for some reason, people think that Latino Rebels have never talked about Univision. But all of a sudden, like, we were reading up the Roger Figueroa story for being fired after he said, compared the First Lady to cast member of the Planet of the Apes, and that we were kind of new to the game. And I said to myself, well, what planet have you been living on? Because that's actually one of the topics that Latino Rebel talks about, and so do you. And we wanted to bring you on to kind of maybe add a little bit more dimension to that, because you talk a lot about, you write a lot about this. And I wanted to take on that. So go ahead and sort of, jam on it. We got about 12 minutes left. Probably about 11 minutes. I want to get your take on all this.
Sure. I mean, I think it sounds like there's a couple of things that's going on here in terms of Latino Rebels and the role of, speaking on the racialization of Latinos, which I think brings a larger question, which is, who are the media outlets that we can count on to speak about these issues, and perhaps because there's so few Latino outlets that we have in general, that we just automatically assume that places like Latino Rebels or other areas are just not doing what other people would consider enough. As someone who has contributed to Latino Rebels and who's been writing on, my own blog, and Latino Rebels gave me sort of amplifying, that the message that I've been trying to, write about for a long time. I can safely say that I think that Latino Rebels has been probably one of the only outlets that has a public presence, which I think is important to distinguish, right, between private and public. I think it's one of the few outlets that actually do consistently speak about Latino racialization and racism in the community. So that's one question that I think the Latino community is grappling with, and perhaps that's why you're facing that.
And what's the message? Because I just want to share, you've written extensively about this, and Sharice can jump in after you mentioned it, because there wasn't really a discussion last week, but it was very surprising to us that people would come back to us and say, like, well, what have you guys been doing about this? And I'm like, are you kidding me? It was like someone like but you talk specific takes on all this, and that's why we wanted to get you on it. And you talked about sort of the white supremacy model with the Latin American racialization. Can you expand more about that?
Sure. So I think, there are lots of things going on here with the Roger Figueroa controversy, and the first thing is that that outlets like Univision and Telemundo, it's not surprising that people like Wagner, are making these kinds of comments, because they've been making them for as long as they've been in existence. I mean, making anti-Asian, what I consider anti-Asian remarks. So I told him about, about on my blog, sports commentators making or describing Asian, Latino Asian soccer players as chinito, chinito. Or when they talk about black Latinos, el negrito or la negrita, right? So, descriptions matter. So I think that, that's one thing that we need to keep in mind is that, and this is what lots of people have been saying, not just myself, but, that we in Telemundo and lots of these other media outlets have been, upholding white supremacist notions of, Latino racialization for a long time. And the second thing that I think that's going on is that because he was making this comment about, the First Lady of the United States, we still decided to make a move and fire him. But I don't think we would have seen the same kind of repercussion or punishment if it was, another, black person, male or female. So I think we have to consider that. We do have to consider, why if this was somebody else, if this was just even, like Denzel Washington, would they have made a similar move? But the third thing is it is a valid question. So what are we doing, right? So Rhonda Figueroa is fired, right? What happens next? So people like Univision and Telemundo, people on these, these media outlets, will they be educated in some way, or will they be continued to be penalized? And I think both. So I do think it's a valid question when we say, what are we doing next, right? What is the next step after being fired? What's the conversation after that?
Well, there has been a conversation, and it's something that we have talked about. Charisse, what do you have to add?
Well, do you think that at any time soon will be seeing Afro Latinos on Univision? At this point, it's not that much. It's a good question. It's a little out there, but because we can speculate on why they fired Roger, right? It could have been, like in the last show that we discussed, it could have been because of their IPOs, it could have been political, or, so it's, or there's a change, like you're saying that it's not a change in consciousness because of the political crowd. But, I guess I'm just trying to, I'm theorizing, well, what if it is just because, they're seeing that their audience is growing, that they're not so isolated, that you think that eventually they might even bring on a more Latino Univision at some point. But it's that's in the near future. I don't. I'm not confident that that's going to happen because adding more Afro Latinos, is not. I don't believe it's on their agenda, because because there's no Afro Latino consciousness in Univision and Telemundo. They're looking at as if it's a black and white issue. As much as Rodney Figueroa does talk about, his grandmother is black and therefore, he wouldn't ever become racist. That's the way Latin Americans think. We can safely say that, we have a tia who's indígena and an abuelita who's negra, right? And therefore we're not racist. And I can bet you that a lot of Latin American media people say that. And for that reason, they don't believe it's necessary to bring in Afro Latino, or at least obviously Afro Latino, professionals on their teams, because they. So I don't think so. I think that no one's pushing them to do it. I don't think that there's anyone who is necessarily saying, your fan base or your people, who are watching are Afro Latino, because Afro Latinos have been watching Univision and Telemundo forever. It's not like we haven't, but there's no one pushing them to actually do So, but even if we do that, what's to say that these Afro-Latino professionals will have, an Afro-centered consciousness, that there's no, we can't trust necessarily for that to happen either. I think that has...
Yeah, and I think the point you're saying is that even the small number, because look, there are some, there are very few talents on Telemundo and television who are quote unquote Afro-Latino. But even those, I think it's the point that you're making. That's the third point. It's about the consciousness, right? It's still playing into that bigger issue of sort of, white is right in Latin America, and you have to step in line and follow that attitude. And right, I can't think of anyone in the history of television or Telemundo who has challenged that as an Afro-Latino on screen to say, hey, we're done with this. The few that I know have been like, all right, I gotta play the game, right? I'm in, and I'm gonna do my thing. Because it's not allowed. I think it's something that you don't talk about. It's exactly what you said. You say, it's uncomfortable. And that's a bigger issue. And I think that's what we wanted to sort of expand and have you on, because you talk about this all the time. So, I think Sharice's question was awesome. Because that's what it is. And I didn't laugh at your question, Sharice.
It's the right question.
I laughed at the question. So I want Blanca to sort of wrap this up. We have another minute with our Blanca. Blanca being we see another, but so where this it goes next, will this ever change? Or do you see that there's a possibility for Spanish language programming in the United States to become more diverse? That would be a better option. What do you think?
I'm not a fan of the word diversity, because I think that diversity, as Robert Figueroa has demonstrated, is a proxy, and people make it a proxy for race. And so we have to be very careful with that. I know what you mean, but I don't think that people like Univision and people like Telemundo necessarily understand that what we mean by diversity.
Well, I appreciate the fact.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate the fact that you understand my question. And so I do like the fact that you distinguish audience and diverse versus Univision and Telemundo. So thank you for that. But, but we're absolutely. We have about 45 seconds, and I really want not to rush you or anything, but I want you to come with the final word, like Lawrence O'Donnell. So get it all. Where does this go now?
We have to do more political mobilization to bring an Afro-Latino consciousness to these conversations, and not just a conversation. And what I mean by political mobilization is to force Univision and Telemundo out of their silos, and to bring them into the 21st century and make them realize that they have viewers who have been, Afro-Latinos for a long time. They're just ignoring us for a very long time.
Well, that's perfect. We really appreciate this time. We always love to have you. We want to keep this conversation going. Good friend. Blanca B. English, right? Is that right? Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Blanca B.
That's my handle.
All right, I'll love it.
Igualmente, hablamos pronto. Okay. Bye.
Sharice, we have 10 seconds, so I thought this was perhaps one of the most good shows.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
And we're Latinos too. That's separate.
Yeah, and Christian's back. All the transitions, music playing in the back. We're out of here. Latino Rebels Radio. Ven a saber para la plebe. Cuídense.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.